Undertaker and lose at WrestleMania in a match where a streak would go up against a career similar to Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker from WrestleMania 26. But I don't see that coming up for The Rock. I see The Rock having a few more matches in him before he retires, and that's not for another few years. The Rock will retire. I just don't see it happening at WrestleMania 30. Yes, it would be a big way of making WrestleMania 30 more memorable if you had The Rock come back and compete in his final match and retire, but if you say The Rock is finishing his career up, is the assumption of an idiot. So if you're someone out there who thinks The Rock is coming back to retire, if you've read the Facebook rumors, if you've read the tweets on Twitter from journalists and columnists, then you are an idiot who believes The Rock's career is over, because after an incredible match with John Cena and with how many positive reviews this match got, I see it a long way away from now, and there are so many superstars The Rock has left to create with. I go back to the 2011 Shawn Michaels Hall of Fame induction speech when Shawn Michaels said, he created with so many superstars. And you take a look at The Rock's career, it may seem as if he did a lot, but there are so many superstars The Rock didn't even get a chance to create with. No matter if they were mid-card wrestlers, no matter if they were big-name superstars, there were so many superstars you just wanted to see The Rock face in the late 90s, early 2000s, but never had the chance to do. And I think one of the things that we need to see is The Rock create with more superstars and at least win 10 championships before he retires, because so many wrestlers over the years have won over 10 championships. The Rock has yet to do it. He has to win an additional 2 championships. If he comes back statistically this year and wins a title, it'll be his 9th championship. And I just think WWE World Heavyweight Champion is a great title for The Rock to have, because the WWE World Heavyweight Championship represents over 50 years of professional wrestling, and we know the history of The Rock's family in professional wrestling. High Chief Peter Maivia and Rocky Johnson, great wrestlers, great performers, and The Rock is carrying on the tradition after winning so many incredible matches in his career, defeating Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, and John Cena at 3 WrestleManias, the generation leaders. Nobody thought it could ever have been done, and it was written for The Rock to do it. I think a great way of him carrying on with tradition is do the one thing that his father and his grandfather never had the chance of doing, and that's be WWE World Heavyweight Champion. That would be a great way of The Rock to represent 50 years of WWE's illustrious history and to represent the history of his family with the professional wrestling business. You remember back to 2001 when Vince McMahon, prior to the WWE versus WCW Survivor Series elimination match 5-on-5, cut a promo about The Rock's family and how much the Survivor Series match back in 2001, 11 or 12 years ago, meant to the professional wrestling business and meant to The Rock's family's legacy. And just think about how much it would mean to The Rock's family's legacy if The Rock were to hold the one championship that defines who is the man of professional wrestling. This is an incredible opportunity that I think The Rock can't pass by, and I think The Rock, if given the opportunity to come back to be WWE World Heavyweight Champion, is going to take it because of the money, because of the attention he would garner for things he's got going on outside of professional wrestling, and just because of for his love of the business. I think The Rock does have a love for the business. It's just hard for The Rock to kind of focus on 2 things. He's got the entertainment industry always following him around. He's got the professional wrestling business, and the critics always bringing it up to him. Why did you leave 7 or 8 years ago? The point being, The Rock came back to professional wrestling. He solidified his legacy as the greatest of all time. It made WrestleMania 28 arguably the greatest WrestleMania of all time, with The Rock having the home field advantage in Miami, the end of an era match. I mean, everything about WrestleMania 28 fit perfectly into place, and it made that year's WrestleMania arguably the greatest WrestleMania of all time. And I think WrestleMania 30 could be made the greatest WrestleMania of all time. It could beat WrestleMania 28 if you had The Rock face Randy Orton, John Cena face The Undertaker, and Brock Lesnar face Dave Batista in a number 1 contenders match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, the chances of those 3 matches happening at WrestleMania are very far away from happening. At least one of those 3 matches will happen, and obviously it'll be Dave Batista versus Brock Lesnar. But do we have to have the story path for WrestleMania 30 be so obvious? Does it irritate you when things are just so obviously distributed by the WWE? Wouldn't you rather just keep guessing on what's going to happen? I think Dave Batista versus Brock Lesnar is a little bit too obvious to be for the championship at WrestleMania 30, and I think if you were to throw The Rock and Randy Orton in there, that would swerve the obvious predictions of WrestleMania 30 a little bit and keep us guessing up until the actual WrestleMania event, which happens the first week of April in 2014. And be it that WrestleMania 30 is a celebration of over 30 years of WrestleMania, 3 unprecedented decades from WrestleMania 1 up until WrestleMania 30 in 2014. Whoever thought WrestleMania would get this far. I think WrestleMania 30 can make room for a lot of unobvious things to happen and unpredictability. I think WrestleMania 30 is best defined by unpredictability, and with how The Rock's been teasing a return a couple of weeks before WrestleMania on Facebook and Twitter at Dwayne Johnson on fanpagelist.com. You can get all The Rock's social media references to follow his conversation and join his fan pages, and in my opinion, it is time for The Rock to come back after electrifying us for 1,095 days, rounding it off to over 1,100 days, going back as far as 2011. And you take a look at the last incredible 2 years The Rock has had in his career. For the last 2 years, The Rock has won so many accolades, he's defeated so many big names, and he's gotten the better of everybody that he's worked with since returning in 2011. I'll never forget the first promo The Rock cut in 7 years. It was unbelievable hearing The Rock saying what he was saying in California. He electrified thousands of fans. He even referenced Justin Bieber and called Michael Cole a drunken hobbit. And after returning in 2011, he teamed up with John Cena, never before, never again. In 2012, defeated John Cena at WrestleMania 28, returned 6 months later to defeat CM Punk at the 2013 Royal Rumble, ending a reign of over 434 days as WWE Champion, defends the championship against CM Punk at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in 2013, defeats him again with even more controversy surrounding the conclusion of the match, and at WrestleMania 29 in the weeks leading up to WrestleMania 29, an incredible exchange of promos and momentum between John Cena and The Rock. The Rock saying that he beat John Cena at WrestleMania 28, and at WrestleMania 29 he would beat him again. John Cena defeats The Rock to get redemption, and then we see an incredible show of respect between John Cena and The Rock at WrestleMania 29's conclusion in New York, New Jersey. And in my opinion, with nothing having been done since that match, something needs to happen, no matter if it's John Cena Rock 3, which obviously will not happen, or it's just a face-to-face confrontation where The Rock announces his retirement, which I'm hoping does not happen, because one thing I will never deny for you over this microphone and on this radio show is that I am a huge Rock fan. And if you are a huge Rock fan who have clicked on this video through browsing through YouTube, we invite you to join the conversation by signing up for our forum on our website. Click discussion forum on our website. The link is right there for you. It takes about 90 seconds to sign up for our forum. Once you create an account, you can join the conversation on our website and about anything that's heard on this radio show. You can join us on Facebook and subscribe at HGW Entertainment. You can follow us on Twitter and listen to our show with Jonathan Clarke 1 with over 21,000 tweets, and you can subscribe and watch us on YouTube at Jonathan Clarke 22 with over 1,000 video archives and 25,000 channel views. We invite you to leave us some comments, send us a message on Facebook, and tweet us your opinion with hashtag The Rock. And I'm going to put it out there, I agree with The Rock solidifying his legacy as the greatest of all time, because if you actually look back at The Rock's career, although he may not have had a chance to create with some names in the WWE like The Rock versus Shawn Michaels, which would really sell WrestleMania pay-per-views if he ever had that match, although he may not have had a chance to create with some names like people like Brock Lesnar has had a chance to create with, and people like Triple H and The Undertaker, The Rock has had a pretty impressive career, and he really has gone a long way and solidified himself, certainly if not one of the greatest of all time, definitely one of the top 5. He's on the top 5 list of greatest performers of all time, no matter if you want to be a critic of The Rock, no matter if you want to support The Rock, no matter what way you want to choose to perceive him. He is certainly, arguably, one of the greatest of all time, and if not the one of the top 5. Also, send me your top 5 list of greatest superstars of all time. Whether or not it includes The Rock will be up to you. But he's certainly on my top 5 list of greatest of all time, and that's why I'll be archiving this latest Rock video promoting the fact The Rock will possibly return in 2014, and especially with Triple H saying that 2014 will be unlike anything else that we have ever seen, both on WWE television and .com. He needs to come through with this, and returns of Brock Lesnar and Dave Bautista are big. But bigger things can happen in 2014, and I'll leave that one up to your imagination. For over 1,100 days, The Rock has electrified us and solidified his legacy, a total of 1,095 days. No matter if he was there or not, he was a remarkable return, and one of the biggest returns of the last 3 years at least. And in my opinion, with 2014 is going to go down as one of the biggest years that have ever taken place in professional wrestling. How can it go down as one of the biggest years of all time in over 50 years of history with World Wrestling Entertainment, without the most electrifying man in all of entertainment, The Rock? The Rock versus Randy Orton, The Rock versus The Undertaker, The Rock versus Batista. I'd go for any of those matches at WrestleMania. We'll find out what the first critical step is on the road to WrestleMania at the 2014 Royal Rumble on January 26th, and in my opinion, you can't have WrestleMania 30 without The Rock to make it the most electrifying WrestleMania of all time and the most electrifying year. But as I just said, I'll leave that one up to your imagination. You can join the conversation on Facebook at HCW Entertainment. You can follow our show on Twitter at JonathanClarke1. And you can watch and subscribe to me on YouTube, on our official YouTube channel with over 1,000 video archives, including this latest one on The Rock's possible 2014 return at Jonathan Clarke 22. When we come back, I'll have Pitbull teaming up with Kesha for you. Timber, this was a big one on their latest tour, and I'll have that for you when we come back.
When something takes place in the world of professional wrestling, you know where to go. WrestleZone.com. WrestleZone.com. Covering all the latest breaking news daily. Interactive forums where you can chat with thousands of other wrestling fans. Exclusive editorials and audio features by some of today's top wrestling superstars. Exclusive video content, weekly polls, live play-by-play coverage of every WWE and TNA pay-per-view. And now, featuring WrestleZone Radio, live with news, in-depth discussions, debates, and interviews with wrestling's top stars, past and present. When you think wrestling, think WrestleZone. WrestleZone.com.
He considers himself God's gift to wrestling, and millions of his faithful agree. With nearly 4 hours of footage and exclusive commentary and matches, this DVD chronicles Daniel's rise from Chicago's Windy City Wrestling to the Asylum in Nashville, and finally to the top of TNA. TNA Home Video presents Heaven Sent, Hell Bound, the best of Christopher Daniels. Available at most retailers and TNAWrestling.com.
Hey you right there, the one listening to this show. While you're tuning into this broadcast or when you read the news on WrestleZone.com, are you forming opinions of it all? Or do you just agree with everything you see and hear? If you actually have some sort of afterthought, which, by the way, is normal, we want to know what it is. There are thousands of wrestling fans just like you that simply can't hold their thoughts in either, and they let it all out in our interactive forums. You have a voice, so use it. Simply visit forums.WrestleZone.com. Don't just be active, be reactive in the official WrestleZone.com forums. For all the latest in mixed martial arts, be sure to visit WrestleZone's sister site,